Yeah, he participated in all our walkthrough stuff. So, but it's a walkthrough, so it's not. There was no real running or moving or anything. So, so we'll see. We'll see how where we are tomorrow. It's a topic that's people want to hear about and know about, and there's going to be a lot of questions about it. But we will not really know for sure until late tomorrow afternoon or early evening.
Front right, Tim.
Rick, as you've kind of watched Jalen Williams develop from afar over the last few years and then seen him up close, obviously, in this series, what stands out to you about his game and the way that he's evolved over his few years in the league?
Yeah, he's the quintessential modern-day wing. He can do everything. He can attack off the dribble. He can make plays and pass the ball. He shoots the three. He shoots mid-range. He finishes. He gets the and-ones. He creates a constant vertical threat on the rim. And you know, I don't know him personally, but he looks like a great person and a great young leader on that team. And he's a guy that we gotta slow down somehow, and it's not easy.
Alvaro?
Ridmo. Zach Lowe published a comment from an anonymous GM saying that this is the hardest playing finals he can remember. When I looked at Second Spectrum data, in the 12 years they've tracked it, the 2025 Pacers in the finals have run the most miles and at the highest speed of any team, regular season or postseason, in history. Is it a product of your scheme, the opponent, the situation? Are there limits? This is a question I really have. Are there limits to pace and space?
Limits based upon what? The dimensions of the court?
That this is
yeah, the court. I don't believe the court's going to get bigger anytime soon. This has been a topic for many years. You know, players are getting bigger, they're getting faster. You know, how do you create space? You know, the arenas are pretty much configured a certain way, and it's just very difficult to try to find an extra 6 inches of width on the court on each side or whatever. And so, yeah, I mean, that's one reason that the three-point shot has been so advantageous to the game. It creates more space. But as far as the running fast and running far, I mean, that's how we play, and that's what we're supposed to do.
Will, all the way in the back in the center.
Hey, Rick, can you just talk about Coach Busick and what she's meant to this team all year long, but in particular this historic finals run and what her ceiling is?
Well, I continue to answer the question the same way. She's one of the best coaches in the world. She's a great teacher. She's a great communicator. She has great knowledge, and she's someone that's committed to constantly learning and getting better. And so, you know, when she was a head coach in the W, her teams were elite offensively. You know, I've asked her to take on the role, you know, a different role here, really concentrating on the defense. And you know, it's been really, to this point, an 18-month effort to get better, to help some guys that, you know, weren't great defenders to become better team defenders, guys that were good defenders to hopefully become great defenders. And she's had a lot of impact on all that stuff. And, you know, at some point in time, there will be a first female head coach in the NBA. I believe that. I believe that she's one of the few that could be that person.
We'll go to Steve. Mike's coming up on your right.
Rick, can you talk a little bit about the protocols of using a player or not using a player if he's hurt versus injured? Is it different in a game like Game 5 when that happens on the fly versus heading into a game? Is it medical staff, the players want to, your involvement? Does it change?
Yeah, it's all the above. It's all that. we were all talking constantly during Game 5, and so yeah, and getting the feedback and but Game 5's over. It's time to move on.
Where you've had to rein a player in against his, most intense desires to be out there?
Yeah, but not without consultation with the medical staff and weighing all the factors. So, the answer is yes.
Joe in the back.
Rick, a substantial number of us went to the wrong room. With Tyrese, we saw him out on the floor today. Was he able to do anything other than just sort of the set shots that we saw?
We did a 30-minute walkthrough. We did about 25 minutes of film, then a 30-minute walkthrough, and he was able to do both of those things.
And then I know you said immediately after Game 5 that you thought he had done some positive things in the second half. Having watched the film and gone over, do you still feel like he was while injured, he was still more of a positive being out there?
Well, he was in there when we got it to 2. We cut it to 2, and then what happened there was we had a good defensive possession. We overhelped and gave up a second shot, and it turned into a 3. And then we had an untimely turnover at the other end, and that turned into a breakaway dunk. And then all of a sudden, boom! It was 7 again. So, this is not related to Tyrese, but it's the two things right now that are really bothersome and challenging for us is the rebounding, the second shot rebounds, and the turnover. So we're going to do our best to address those things. But as far as Tyrese, he'll go through the day tomorrow. Our prep sessions tomorrow, late afternoon, and they'll get together and do some testing, and that will determine whether he plays or not. And if he doesn't play, we have a plan, obviously, if we're without him.
Last question here on the left, second row.
Rick Ariaga from ESPN Brazil. Would you say that everything that has happened in this series is absolutely normal? You guys won a road game. They won a road game. They did their job last game, won a game in Oklahoma. And now in Game 6, you have the chance to go with 7. I'm asking that because the atmosphere around this series and Oklahoma came such a big favorite.
Yeah, we've been in this position before. We were in this position last year in the New York series. We were down 3-2, and we were coming back home. And so what we need to do is buckle down, stand strong, where we should. And I anticipate one of the best crowds in the history of Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And we got to find a way. And the ultimate is to get to a Game 7. That's the ultimate privilege. It's the ultimate experience in sports. But we've got to take care of home court tomorrow to do that.
Thank you.